Shalom, brothers and sisters, all those seeking in spirit and truth. First and foremost, all praises to the great I am, loving kindness. Enoki said, in the name of Motza, the Lamb, the living water that flows and goes with us everywhere we go, the Messiah, the Wada Kayi. Thank you, Holy Spirit, the giver of life, the breath. I hope all is well with you. Much love, prayers, and peace to all of you on your journeys and your process of becoming and remembering who you are. Y'all, we are going into some serious times, and transformation is right now out there in the world. You see, it's two different worlds going on right now. It's the old world, your old patterns, your old self, the ego, the blocks, and then it's the new world, the forgiving, the awareness of His presence, of the Spirit, the Holy One, the Great One, the Almighty, the Powerful, the Love, the Peace, the Forgiveness. It's all out here, right? So how? How do we navigate? How do we wake up? What's going on? And I've been asking myself this, like, is it really happening? Is this really our redemption is near? Oh yeah, it's near. But do we have a journey ahead of us, y'all? Oh yeah. And so this message is very, very important. That's why I'm calling this Awakening from the Deep State and Navigating Through It. Let's dive right in, y'all. Let's go. So first, we must ask ourselves, what state have you been in? How did I get in this state? Was this set up? What sparked this whole discussion that was, as a collective, the majority of the world has been in different states, which opened the window to why are there 50 states? Why are we divided? So what is the definition of state? You have a manner, a mode of action, a way of performing, a condition, a status, a station. And that's interesting for those that know about the 7 stations. I'm like, whoa, we've been in a station, but not that way. They had us in their station, this illusion, right? Or a way of standing, behaving, mental and emotional condition. So it jumped it off one night. I was outside. I was just talking to my neighbor. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I just got hit with all these, I guess you would call them downloads and light. And it was just like, whoa, hold on. This is why we've been divided into 50 different manners or mode of actions or way of performing, 50 different conditions of states. Because, we have 50 states or 51 states, and, it goes on with countries and stuff like that. But I'm talking more the aspect of where we're at, in the Americas, or in America. And I was like, whoa, it makes sense because I'm from Oklahoma. We have a certain state or condition that we're in. And then when you go to different states, you go to Texas, they're different. You go to this, they're different. So it's like we're divided. They divided us to keep us in different state of mind and in a state of being, and to trick us. They've been conditioning us. And it just blew my mind because I'm like, yo, they're not slick. So just because you put you in a different state, you gotta look at it on a deeper level. So it's to control our mind, control our way of performing. I'm like, no way, right? So then you have to ask yourself, what is a condition? It's a psychological sense of teach or accustomed to even person or animals, certain habits or responses, conditioning. In Latin, it means agree upon. And then you have the word con, which means trick. So basically, we have been tricked, conditioned into an agreement, into certain habits and responses, a way of acting, performing, behaving, making an agreement to the conditions, right? So we've been in different states of being, and we call it normal, which they tricked us into saying that you can do what thou will without worrying about the consequences or justifying why we act a certain way. So having different states and just where you from, it's like that is just, it don't matter with none of that. You know what I mean? It's like they separated us. Here, you're from here, you're from here, you're from here, you're from here, and now we're gonna condition you, condition. So we all have been conditioned. We all have been tricked into a agreement, you know, to act a certain way, to be a certain way, and it's amazing to see, like, when you go around, like I said, when you travel to different so-called states, you see that it's the same, you know, but it's different at the same time. Because it's like, yo, you've been here, you've been raised, you've been conditioned. Oh, this is how we get down out here. This is what we do out here. And then we say, well, this is what we do out here. And it's like the world has just shifted. It's like our eyes are open for those who want to see and want to hear. The Spirit is working in you. You have to be open to it. It's lifted, so we can see now. We can see the conditions, and most people haven't been able to see the conditions, but now you can really see, like dealing with family members, dealing with anybody, just from going to a store, you can see what state of mind they're in. You can see what condition they're in, and it's like it's sad at the same time. It really is. Like, my heart goes out because it's like, yo, all you got to do is go within. Just listen to the Spirit, acknowledge change, you know, get those patterns. But they made it so hard, and that's why they feed us things to put into your body that go inside your mind, which mind is really just a memory. It's to think, it's remember. So they make it hard for us to remember. They make it hard for us to connect to the lifeline, to connect to the Spirit. I mean, it's just so many things. They've been conditioning us this whole time. So then you have the word co, together with. So we know that everything starts in the Spirit first. So who are the deep state, and who are they working together with? What spirit? So see, it gets even deeper. There's a force out there that has been against us, that's been against your purpose, that's been against everything that you were created to be. And these states and these leaders of these states have been listening to those spirits, and they've been working with them to keep us in a state of mind, to keep us conditioned to what they say is what we need, to feed off our weaknesses and make sure we don't come together, to keep us divided from ego, from race, to simple thing. You're black, you're white, you're brown, you're called this, you're called that. You see, it's been going on, but now it's like you can really see it because people are so hardcore for whatever they've been conditioned to believe in, and they hold on to it. That's why I said it's two worlds out here right now. It's the old world, and then we're transitioning to the new world. And for all those that want to seek good, pure, and holy things, and find out your vision of creative purpose, because being conditioned and staying in these states, in this state of mind, you know, you're supposed to be this. You can go and be a doctor, be this, be that, be that. And there was nothing wrong with that if you come in at it from a servant heart. But most of us that's been out here and been raised, sorry y'all, it's my cat, that's been raised living out here, it's deeper than that. You have to be this because, you know, this is what society says is success. This is what society says that this is what you should be. This is what you should do. You get this, you get possessions, you get all these things. And so most people are operating in that. And it's sad to say that most people really won't catch on and wake up and get and break out of these conditions and find their perfect selves, you know, being alive here. You know what I mean? It's going to take, it's going to be, just keep it real, a lot of death. You know what I mean? But death is life at the same time, because you still have a chance, and that's a whole nother story. You know what I mean? It's not over. But a lot of people won't come to a full spiritual understanding or come over to this new world because old conditioning and what these forces behind and the spirits behind these just emotions and this energy that you cling on to is going to be hard to break out of. It can be hard if you want to hang on, if you want to stay in the old world, if you want to justify your actions. Once you've been conditioned, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, and just all these things that we've been taught and been in different states, and our behaviors and how they shape and how they said, this is your culture, this is your culture, this is what you do. And it's like, no, we want righteousness, we want the purity, we want that in the beginning, before all this, you know what I mean? And so think about it, y'all. What state of mind have you been in? What conditioning have you picked up from this world or from your environment? Are you ready to let it go? Or are you still holding on to things? And me personally, in my walk, I'm still learning how to let go of things. And I'm actually journaling and writing down and taking notes and seeing that the mind is very powerful, y'all. And that's where they go at the mind. Because like I said, when you look up the word mind, is what you get. That which feels, wills, and thinks, the intellect. It was from Old English, which is Jaman, which is memory, remembrance, state of being remembered, a thought, purpose, an intention. So they've been conditioning our minds on how to think, how to feel, messing up our memory so we can't remember who we are, remember who we are connected to, remembering that we are made in His image, remembering that we are loved by the Messiah, remembering that we worship in spirit and truth. They have put all these structures and said, you have to do this, you have to claim this, you have to be like this. This is what, it's crazy because they pump it in, and it's so sad because they're attacking the children so hard. These children, we have to protect the children. We have to really pray, meditate, and seek, and come home, within, and come home to the spirit and the presence of God that's inside of us and all around, the presence of the living water, which is reproval, which is just correction, and repentance, which is just changing, which is diving in and having remorse for, that, because you have to understand that the presence of God and the Messiah lives inside of us. So everything we do, Mota, he feels it. The Messiah feels it, and we got to cling to forgiveness so we can feel that forgiveness, because most time we act out because we don't feel forgiven. We don't feel His spirit, because remember, God is spirit, so we don't feel His love. We don't feel his mercy, His grace. We forget. And then when we don't feel, and we're not connected to His spirit, then we cannot act out. We can't be the living word. We can't help Mota. We live different. We use our words to break down. We hurt each other. It's thought, word, deed. So if your thought is not in line and connected to the Spirit of God, if your state of being, if your purpose, if your mind is not connected to the right spirit, then your actions, your words, which you speak out, then your deed will be, it will be against the true purpose of why you were created. You know what I mean? And that's what they don't want us to remember. They don't want us to remember that we are loved. They don't want us to remember that we need each other. Like, you need your neighbor. We are here to serve each other, because they have the presence of God too. They have the presence of Mota living inside of them. And it dawned on me, I'm like, that's why they say, do you want to accept Christ? Yes, it makes sense. Yes, I want to accept the reproval. Yes, I want to accept the change so I can feel that forgiveness. That's all it is accepting and allowing His spirit to dwell and be first in your life. So notice that every action, everything that you do, is you're representing Him. Do you want to hurt Him by your actions, by your words? Do you want to accept correction? And that's what they made it so hard for us to not take correction. And all it is accountability. They want you to stand on. They want your state of being. They conditioned us to be just prideful, and no, I don't have to do that. I don't have to change. Why do I have to change? This is who I am. I've been like this. This is my generation. They had all these things that they condition us to keep claiming and holding on to. It's not good. So therefore, again, as we go back to the word condition, you have the word co together with. So we know that everything starts in the spirit first. So who are the deep state or this old world? Who are they working with? What spirit? Let's go in. So every human thought and every human action is based in either love or fear. There is no other human motivation, and all other ideas are but derivatives of these two. There are simply different versions, different twists on the same thing. Think on this deeply, and you will see that it is true. This is what I have called the sponsoring thought. It is either a thought of love or fear. This is the thought behind the thought, behind the thought. It is the first thought. It is prime force. It is the raw energy that drives the engine of human experience. So just think about that. That's why they attack our mind, our state of being. That's why they condition us. They don't want you to cling to that first thought, to love. They want you to stay in fear and disconnect. Oh, y'all, it's so deep. Every action taken by human beings is based in love or fear, not simply those dealing with relationships. Decisions affecting business, industry, politics, religion, the education of your young, the social agenda of your nations, the economic goals of your society, choices involving war, peace, attack, defense, aggression, submission, determinations to covet or give away, to save or to share, to unite or to divide. Every single free choice you ever undertake arises out of one of the only two possible thoughts there are, a thought of love or a thought of fear. So that's why I like to call it the sponsoring thought, right? Because it goes thought, word, and deed. And remember, thought is spirit. So what spirit are you connecting to, right? Is it love or is it fear? Because whatever you do is going to have a reaction. You're either going to think it or say it and then do it, or sometimes you just gonna do it without even really thinking, but you are really thinking. You already made your mind up. You see what I mean? Everything has to run through that sponsoring thought. Is spirit. So are you choosing the right spirit? Fear is the energy which contracts, closes down, draws in, runs, hides, hoards, harms, and pause. They have conditioned us and conditioned the world to close down, draw in, run, hide, hoards, harm, my possessions, harm, I hate you, I want to hurt you. They want you to pick the first thought and then justify it and say, well, I did this because of this. But love is an energy which expands, opens up, sends out, stays, reveals, shares, and heals. Every human thought, word, or deed is based in one emotion or the other. You have no choice about this because there is nothing else from which to choose. But you have free choice about which of these to select. So it is the battle for the mind. It is the battle for the spirit. It is the battle for your soul. And right now, as we transition into this new world, right, we're clearing out all those fears. We're clearing out all those things that contract, that close down, draw in, runs, hides, hoards, or harms. We're clearing out everything that is not virtuous, that is not pleasing to God, that is not loving kindness, that is not serving, that is not giving, that is not of love, right? We're getting rid of those things and we're putting and bringing forth the presence of God, because see, he dwells in all of us. It's just that will you answer the spirit? What thought, what sponsoring thought, what force are you going to choose? Or are you going to choose the true image, the one that created you, the one that loves you, the one that you're here because of his love? Or will you choose the separate and being separated from him, the fear? Do you want to expand, open up, send out, reveal, share, heal? Or do you want to hoard and harm? And so they've conditioned all of us to live in fear and pick and choose what we want to love. And it's crazy because they're not slick. They want you to love possession, love material, love praise from man, love hierarchy, love power, love position. And see, it's not real because you got to understand there's a force behind those things. So there's a spirit. Is it the spirit of God? Is it the spirit of the living water that flows? Is it Kayi? Is it breathing breath? Is it giving life? Or is it causing harm? Is there double intentions? Do you really want power? Do you really want position over your fellows? Do you want to dominate? Do you want discord? You know, and they feed off discord, like everything, y'all, from sports to entertainment. And you have to ask yourself, okay, so what force, what spirit, what what sponsoring thought was behind all these shows? Like, it trips me out. Like, why do you want to watch a horror film? Why do you want to watch a scary movie? Do you know the force behind that? Then you're feeding that force. And we're trying to leave this old world and step into the new world. We're trying to find our vision of creative purpose from the creator, not from what man has told us to be. And bless your souls for all those who have got degrees and you did what you had to do to take care of your family and what you've been taught. I understand. But that is just a surface. That is not who you were created to be, because this old world is passing. There's something new out here. Nothing is going to be the same, especially with AI. And AI created the digital ego. So now people are going to hold on to this digital ego, hold on to their money, hold on to their possessions. They're not going to know how to live and be without. But you're really not without. You have everything within. And when you listen to the spirit within and you are guided, look, we have nature, we have home, we got food, we got shelter. Oh, so many great people out there who can bring so many things to the table, community, and just vibe and love each other. But the force, the shift, the split is the fear. Do you want to continue to stay in fear? Because if you continue to stay in fear, these are the things that are going to follow you. You're going to shut down. You're going to draw in. You're going to hide, hoard, harm. And people are going to fight to the death to hold on to their possessions, hold on to what they think is life, hold on to their status. You have to let all that go. Because who wants to get praised by man? Man will turn their back on you. You know, when you don't follow, or you don't keep up with the Jones, or stay in touch and stay connected with everything that goes on in the world with celebrities and entertainment, then you got to ask yourself too, what sponsoring thought, what force, what spirit is behind them? When you choose the action love sponsors, you will do more than survive. You will do more than win. And you will do more than succeed. Then you will experience the full glory of who you really are and who you can be. To do this, you must turn aside from the teachings, the misinformation, the worldly tutors, and hear the teaching of those whose wisdom comes from another source. And that is, the voice within is the loudest voice with which the Spirit speaks, because it is the closest to you. It is the voice which tells you whether everything else is true or false, right or wrong, good or bad, as you have defined it. It is the radar that sets the course, steers the ship, guides the journey, if you but let it. And where do you begin? You begin with your ego, because ego is nothing more than an idea that you carry around that identifies you as separate from everyone else and as a sum total of your accomplishments and acquisitions. So start with the ego. Start with those ideas that are not from the sponsoring thought of love, that is not from the right spirit, that doesn't produce kindness, patience, understanding, compassion, respect. Never put yourself on a pedestal, because when you do, you'll attract fear, hoard, harm, conceal. You won't have eyes to see or ears to hear.